I've always wanted to be a morning person. It seems like all around us there are anecdotes about high performers, top athletes, and successful CEOs, all of whom attribute their success to waking up at 5 a.m. every day. I've always wanted to get in the habit of waking up super early so that I could have a chance of enjoying similar success. But by the time 5 a.m. rolls around, the only thing I actually want to do is turn off my alarm and go back to sleep. And the few times I do wake up at 5 a.m., I'm always so groggy that the first few hours of the day end up being miserable, unproductive, and wasted. Recently, I spent a week in New York City for a work trip, and when I came back home to San Diego, I saw this as a chance to finally practice waking up at 5 a.m. I was already fully adjusted to the Eastern time zone, which meant that coming back to San Diego, with its 3-hour time zone difference, that coveted 5 a.m. wake up would feel more natural and less miserable. So I decided to give it a try and commit to waking up at 5 a.m. every day for 1 week. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how to start and maintain an early morning wake up habit and what I was able to accomplish during the extra time. The first thing I want to talk about is how to actually start waking up at 5 a.m., no matter what your current morning routine looks like. I totally admire people who can power through the pain with the misery of an early wake up time, but I'm definitely not that person. It's important for me to wake up in the morning feeling well rested, calm, and like I actually want to get out of bed. Powering through the misery of an unsustainable 5 a.m. wake up time is definitely not the vibe we're going for. So here are a few strategies that we can use to sustain that 5 a.m. target. The first and most obvious thing is to go to sleep early enough that you can get a full night's sleep, whatever that looks like for you. For most people, that's around 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. And that doesn't just mean starting to unwind and get ready for that early bedtime, but also taking some time before you go to bed to unplug, close everything up for the night, and prepare for a great night's sleep. For me, that meant that I needed to be home and starting to get ready for bed by around 8 p.m. each night so that I could actually be crawling in bed, ready to fall asleep by 9 p.m. I started setting a personal boundary where I would only make plans for things that would allow me to come back home by 8 p.m. so that I could create this sustainable evening routine. This was tough at first, especially when it means leaving a great outing with friends early or cutting my Netflix binge session short, but it ended up being an absolute game changer with my quality of sleep as well as how I felt the next morning at 5 a.m. The second thing I did in order to make my 5 a.m. wake up routine sustainable and painless was to differentiate between waking up and getting up. Of course, my ultimate goal is to get out of bed and start my day super early, but there's definitely a journey to get there, especially when you're trying to adjust your body's natural circadian rhythm and sleep routines. So I gave myself permission that in the first few days of waking up at 5 a.m., I could lay in bed, waking up, for as long as I felt like, within reason, of course. I used this time to scroll through social media, pet my cats, and just hang out while my mind woke up. This might not work for everybody, but it allowed me to take some of the pressure off of my super early morning routine, while my mind and body adjusted to the new time. As the days went on, I started feeling more and more awake faster and faster, until I was able to get up and out of bed within 15 minutes of my alarm going off. Finally, a third thing that ended up keeping me motivated with waking up at 5 a.m. was how much I actually enjoy those morning hours. I used to wake up around 7 a.m. and immediately scramble and rush to get ready for work by 8 a.m. I hadn't realized it before, but starting my morning with that stress of getting ready and fitting everything I wanted to do into that 1 hour was zapping my creative energy and causing me to dislike mornings even more. Now I have time to leisurely get ready in the morning, and the best part is I actually have some options with how I'm going to spend my time. At 5 a.m., most people are still asleep. The hustle and bustle of the workday hasn't started yet, and there's a sense of quiet and calm in the world. I didn't realize until I actually experienced it how awesome 5 a.m. actually is. It felt like I had the time to take care of myself physically and mentally at my own pace. I started using that extra time in the morning to journal, reflect on my goals, and plan my day. I made a healthy breakfast, pet my cats, and watched the sunrise. I went on little 20-minute morning walks, either outside or on my little desk treadmill to help get the blood flowing. It was great, and after all of that, I still had time left over before 8 a.m. I've always known that I personally have my peak creative energy first thing in the morning, and those first few hours of the day are when I get my best work done. But with the extra time in the morning, I actually started working earlier, sometimes as early as 6:30 or 7 a.m. I was pleasantly surprised that I was able to get more and higher quality work done by using the extra time to focus before everyone else started working and the normal distractions of the day began. In the end, I committed to waking up at 5 a.m. every day for a week as an experiment. It's actually been a little over a month now, and I'm still going strong with this habit. It finally feels sustainable to the point where on the weekends, I won't set an alarm in the morning, but I'm still able to naturally wake up around 5:30 or 6 a.m. I would definitely recommend experimenting with an earlier wake up time, whatever that looks like for you, if you're interested. I think the most important thing, though, is to set up a system around it so that you can focus on the sustainability and joy of waking up at 5 a.m. rather than trying to power through the pain. And that's all I have for you today. I really hope you've enjoyed this video and feel at least a little bit inspired to try this out for yourself, to experience the joy that is possible from waking up at 5 a.m. If you enjoyed this video, you might also enjoy this video I made about creating systems rather than just setting goals. So definitely check that out here if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.